Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. I am so excited because you guys loved my Reese's video where I made Reese's cereal. If you haven't watched that yet, make sure you do. I'll leave it down in the description box. But you guys requested both Pop-Tarts and Cinnamon Toast Crunch the most. So guess what we're making in today's video? And they turned out so good. I'm so excited. So let's just hop into it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well to see like sneak peeks and recipes and tips that I make on there. And yeah, let's go and get into it. So first off, we're making the Pop-Tarts. So I'm using cassava flour here, which is from the yucca fruit. I love it because it's grain-free, gluten-free, and nut-free as well, so you can use it instead of almond flour. Some coconut oil, which is going to give it some nice healthy fats. It's a great MCT, and it also satisfies, so it turns off those hunger hormones so that you don't get them like crashing and then going up and down. So I'm going to cut the coconut oil into the flour. Alternatively, you can blend it in a blender until you get like a crumb mixture. Then I'm using an egg. You can try a flax egg, though I haven't, and I'm gonna whisk that up. And then I'm adding in some cold water. So you wanna make sure that the water is cold, along with some maple syrup for a little bit of sweetness. And I like maple syrup because it boosts your immune system. It's a great natural sweetener as well. Whisk that together till everything is all combined. And then you are going to pour the wet into the dry crumb mixture that we had from before. And then I'm going to just stir that together until you get a nice batter. This comes together fairly easily. And as you can see, the recipe is super simple. You don't need too much things to make our Pop-Tarts. So you're gonna put some flour on the bottom. I just use some of the cassava flour, and then you're going to roll out the dough. I found it really easy to roll out the dough by putting a sheet of like saran wrap on the top and then rolling it out that way so that it doesn't stick to your rolling pin and you can get it nice and thin. I'm using a knife to just make slices so that we can make our Pop-Tart shapes. So you're gonna need to work with the dough a few times to get all the Pop-Tarts. So just keep making it and rolling it out, cutting the Pop-Tart, rolling it out, and so forth. And you can make them as big or as little as you want. I tried to make them like how Pop-Tarts actually come at the store so that they could be like full on Pop-Tarts. Then lay those onto a baking sheet. I'm using a silicone mold and we're gonna make our filling. So I'm using some raspberries. You can use whatever kind of frozen berries that you like or fresh. Microwave for 30 seconds and then I'm gonna add in a little bit of gelatin. And what the gelatin's gonna do is it's really gonna firm everything up, but gelatin is also really great for anti-inflammatory reasons. It heals your gut, joints, like it's just really good. A little bit of coconut oil as well, and then mix that together. And you're gonna set that aside for a few minutes until it gels up. And then after a few minutes, it'll be thicker like this. And you can put about a tablespoon into the center of each of your Pop-Tarts and then lay it over with another square. I'm using a fork to kind of pinch the sides so that it seals and we don't get any seeping out of the filling on the outside. You can do this all the way around so your filling does not escape. And you can do whatever kind of filling you want. I just did the classic raspberry filling. You could do blueberry or whatever kind of fruit you want here too. So it's totally customizable. Then I'm using some egg whites and we're going to be separating those from our yolks. And don't throw away the yolks, guys. Save those for eating just randomly. You don't want to waste anything, so make sure you save those. And then I'm going to whisk that briskly just until it gets nice and frothy and foamy. And that's going to be used for our egg wash. So this is important to make them nice and crisp on the top. I just use a little pastry brush and I'm brushing the tops of them with the egg white. That way it gets really nice and brown and it kind of gets that like sheen that you see on like Pop-Tarts. So brush that onto each of them, making sure to coat all the sides. And while those are baking, I'm going to make the frosting. So I'm using some coconut butter here, which I prefer to coconut oil for this reason, for a frosting, because it's a bit thicker and it's a bit whiter. So once they're done, you can just scoop them out after they have cooled and top with your coconut butter. And then I also put some raspberries on there, some freeze-dried ones to kind of make it like sprinkles. And then I added some blue magic to the rest of it to make a blue frosting. So you can totally mix it up and change around whatever you like. But I think this combo works really well and they turned out so good. All right, so once your Pop-Tarts are done, they will look like this. You want to make sure you wait for the like frosting on top to harden, which it will. That way you can like stack them on top of each other so it's not like gooey. You'll know what I mean. It's basically dry. So let's have a taste test. Which one should I do? Okay, I'm gonna do like the plain one. The raspberry filling is perfect. It's not too sweet, but it tastes like a Pop-Tart would. You can totally mix up the toppings as well. If you want to do a chocolate one, you can do like the Paleo chocolate that I make all the time on my channel. So I'll leave that down below, but I'm really liking this. I'm definitely going to finish this one right now. Next up, we're making some cinnamon toast crunch. I know, guys, I'm just as excited as you are. So I'm using some ground flax. Flax is great because it's high in omega-3s. It's an anti-inflammatory, plus it's just loaded with fiber. I'm also using hemp seeds, which are a great source of essential fatty acids, protein, and it aids in DNA repair. Some cinnamon, of course. I mean a lot of cinnamon. We're going to use like a tablespoon here because this is cinnamon toast crunch. A little bit of almond milk as well, and putting that in, and then I'm going to add in a little bit of coconut sugar for sweetness. Not too much, but I want to give you guys the feel of it. So 1 tablespoon for the whole recipe, and then some coconut oil as well, which is going to help kind of mix it all together, and it's going to become a nice paste. So you're going to transfer that into a blender. Now you can totally put this in the blender to begin with, but you know, I was filming and I didn't realize that I had to put it in blender until afterwards. So blend that up, and then you're gonna get a thick paste like this. So you wanna grease or use a silicone mat baking sheet. This part is important. You need to make sure you grease it because we're gonna spread it out until it looks like this. Then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of coconut sugar on the top because, you know, the Cinnamon Toast Crunch has like the sugar on the top, you can see. And at least coconut sugar is an unrefined sugar. It's lower in the glycemic index, so it won't spike your blood sugar as much. Then you are going to bake that off for the first session, so for the first 5 minutes, and then you're going to slice it up like with a pizza cutter until you get squares. You can use a knife as well, but I just find this one is really easy. So do it into the small ones until you're done the whole sheet, and then you're gonna finish off baking it and then leave it in the oven for another hour to crisp up. So this is kind of like 3 separate sessions, but I broke it down in the description box for you. So once your cereal is done, I just store it in a large mason jar like I did with my Reese's. It doesn't need to be refrigerated, but if you want, you can put it in the fridge, and then you can just scoop it out whenever you want some. So I'm gonna grab a bowl and let's have a taste test. What I love about this breakfast is that it's so full of fiber, it's full of healthy fats from the hemp seeds, and it's gonna keep you full for a really long time. Plus, it kind of gives you that like childhood spin on like a really great cereal. So I'm thinking of making this a new series on my channel where I remake your childhood favorites. So let me know what your other favorites are down below so that I can make those, and I'm just gonna make a whole series, healthifying childhood favorites, because I think that would be really, really fun. I think Dunkaroos might be next because I used to like Dunkaroos growing up. So I think that's gonna be next. If you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe and also follow me on Instagram and Snapchat so you can see lots of my healthy recipes and behind the scenes. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.